Welcome everybody to the Mortgage Protection webinar. My name is David Whitehead, and we're going to take about 20 minutes to run through this program and show you some interesting things here. I want to thank everybody for being on the call today. Last time we did this recording, we had an audio issue and didn't realize it. So if any of you guys are not hearing me talk, please send me some kind of message if you can through the questions. I think there's a place to do that just to let me know. Hopefully everything's going smooth here. You should see on your screen the Breakout the Rut, the Mortgage is Paid 101. So hopefully everybody is seeing that on their screen. Again, my name is David Whitehead. I've been in the mortgage protection business. I got in back in 2004. Been in the business for about 23, 24 years now. And probably like many of you, I've sold probably just about every kind of insurance imaginable. I started out in Medicare supplements years ago and went through long-term care, did a number of different things. Like probably most of you, just trying to find that one thing that worked for me. And it took me all the way to 2004. I'd already been in the business about 12, 13 years at that point. And I got introduced to this and got in with a rather large organization. And for some reason or another, this just took off for me. I feel fortunate to be in the business this long and still be here. There's been a lot of changes throughout the years with this type of business. But for some reason, this particular niche of the business just works with me. I enjoy it a lot. I think we're pretty good at it. We've developed a program for getting in front of people. Like many of you, and I've talked to many agents on the phone all the time, everybody seems to have somewhat near the same problem, and that is having enough people to talk to. And that all comes down to marketing. And so we're going to show you some stuff here today. It'll take about, like I said, about 20 or 25 minutes. If you see something here that you think might work for you, I'll have some information to contact us at the end. Also, we are recording this, so at the end of it, or within the next 24 hours, you should be able to receive this in an email, and you can look at it again if you want. I'll try to be as clear and concise as I can about what we're doing here, but let's go ahead and move on with this and take you through the program here. Okay, why mortgage protection and why TMIP? This is just some things I thought of, I had on the top of my mind, and this is a lot of why I got in the business. Ultimately, we all want more control of our lives. I came from the retail sector. I was in furniture sales. My family has a furniture business here locally where I live, and I worked in that store for many, many years. And you had to be at that one place all the time. You had to wait for your sales to come to you. And I just didn't like that because I couldn't control anything but what came to me there, and I just wanted something a little bit better. That's why I started looking at the insurance business in the beginning, because I figured, well, I can go out, I can work where I want, and if I want it bad enough, I can go after it and work harder, and I'm not stuck in one place all the time. So I really wanted more control because I was gone a lot. We want more financial control. Well, obviously, that's another reason. How much money we make is not dictated to us or controlled by someone else. In this business, we control that, and I really like that a lot. Now, that's serious. I didn't take it as serious when I first got into this business, but, we are in a very self-disciplined type of business. You have to be a self-starter. You've got to be motivated. It's not so much of a structured environment like I came out of. So for me, this was a little bit of a struggle in the beginning, probably like many of you. But I got control of it. The time control, that was a big thing like I just spoke of. I was spending most of my life in this furniture store, and I didn't like that. How we spend our time, who we spend our time with, and where we spend it. These are got to be as important to you guys as it is to me. With this business, you can have all these things. These are things that we can actually control. Many of you I talk to on the phone, you're not doing that. You're not, you don't have it in control like that, and a lot of it just comes down to the success of what you're doing. I mean, obviously we have to make money in this business, but, I like it. My office, I work from my home. I get to spend time with my family. I see them every day. It's not like I go to work every day, although I do, but it's just not like that. And I like my setup because it allows me to do other things in my life that I enjoy doing, and who and where I'm going and what I'm doing with my time. Very important to me. I hope it's important to you. I'm sure it would be. One fact, and this has always kind of blown my mind, but this is just something I just love about our business. Business, can you collect $100 in revenue and get paid up to $800 as many times as you want? To me, that's just amazing. When I first learned about, premium advances and how much money you could make on collecting so little, writing just a couple $100 a week in premium, you could make over $100,000 a year. And what kind of business could you make $100,000 a year in where you wouldn't have to put up, a small fortune in inventory and startup costs and everything else? I mean, we truly have a wonderful opportunity here if you look at it right. With what we're doing, we don't ever spend probably more than about 20 hours per week working. And by that, I don't mean checking your emails and, shuffling some papers around. For our work, our business, we're making calls to set appointments. We're running leads. We're getting data. We're mailing. We're scrubbing applications. And if you really take and manage your time and watch where you're spending your time, you'll see, too, that it's really hard to spend much more than about 20 or 30 hours a week on this business anyways. It may seem like it, but that's really what it boils down to. Full-time income for part-time work. I always love this because the hours we are spending, we average well over $100 an hour. I kind of like that, better than what most people make. And again, you don't have to put 60, 80 hours a week into this if you manage your time right. That time management thing's tricky too. That took me a while, and I'm still working on it. It's ever evolving, but I noticed with a lot of our new agents that we've had come on board, man, their time was all over the place, and we just had to work to get it, get kind of some kind of system going here where you could corral it. And I'm telling you, when you get a little better control of it, it's really an enlightening moment, and it just makes you think clear, and I just think it makes your business work better. We got a lot of stuff for that we'll tell you about later. Big question is, why is the average income for an insurance agent only about $30,000 or $40,000 a year? Okay, I pin it down to about three different things here. We've got marketing, expenses, and a support system. Marketing being the biggest thing, the most expensive. It's how you get in front of people. We all have to have people to talk to. If we don't have anybody to talk to, we're not making any money. On the expense side, what does it cost to do that marketing? Lord knows right now, the leads that we are generating right now, you can buy on the retail market out there, and you're going to pay about $60 for these. If they're good, fresh, and new, anywhere $50 up, $60. I've even had some people tell me they were paying as much as $70. Now, on average, we try to work about 10 or 15 leads a week. So imagine having about a $600 to $900 a week lead bill before you get to keep any of your money at all. That can hurt a lot of people. That's hard to get over, The other thing is a support system. Being out there by yourself on your own and you don't have anybody really to attach to. This was one of the things, I guess, why I had such great success when I joined my previous company for the first time in mortgage protection. Was the support system was amazing. I learned a lot. There was a lot of other people doing it. I watched a lot of people become very successful and make a lot of money, and I learned a lot of good things from it. It's amazing that after about 10 years, we do things almost completely backwards now from what we were doing when I first got in, but it was really an enlightening moment, learned a lot with it. The support system is really huge. In marketing, access to a quality marketing program that can put you in front of the folks most interested in the product you have to offer. Really important. You can be the greatest salesperson in the world, but without a quality, strategic, laser-like focused marketing plan, you cannot reach your full potential. I believe that, and I believe that's what we have here, what you're about to see. On the expense side, how much does your marketing plan cost if you even have one? I know I still, on occasion, pull up old lead bills that I have. This was back in 2005, 6, or 7. I had lead bills literally that were $3,000 a week for my agency, and that's some scary expenses. You got to be making a lot of money when you're having lead bills like that. Can you afford your current marketing plan? I know before I started doing this, I could not. I was out there flailing around trying to find leads at best prices I could, working in old used leads, any place I could get leads. I had to get in front of people. I'm not the best marketer in the world. I'm not real good at getting referrals. I never have been. I am a self-professed lead junkie. You give me the lead, I can get it done, okay? But without that, I tend to suffer. So for this was huge for me because it made it a lot easier for me to get in front of the people I needed to get in front of. This is the single most important factor to the success of your business. Without a good marketing plan, where are you going? You'll never really be able to enjoy those benefits that this business has to offer. On the support system, are you in business with the right people? Many of you out there I talk to, you have these, somewhat relationships with people that they just, they send you a contract, they sign you on, but they don't give you any kind of support at all, and they just leave you out there to do whatever and hope they get some business from you. We are not looking for that. People of like mind and interest that you can share ideas and solve problems with, that's what we have in our group now. We've got almost zero turnover. We're slow to move on recruiting because we're really trying to find the right people in the right area, but the guys we have, these guys are players. They're producers. We talk on the phone, and when we can get them on our regular calls just to share with the new folks what's going on, really we come up with a lot of great ideas. So we do have a support system in that way. Are you marketing the right products that are competitive for the consumer? We have what I feel to be the best products that are fit for what we offer. We're not, we don't do IULs. We have them. They're available. We specialize pretty much in term products. We have living benefit products with critical illness, which is our most popular selling product. These are with very good competitive companies. We've got great relationships with our underwriters. We train you to be like just a master field underwriter so that when you write an application, we're expecting that thing to go through and get approved. We're not one of these that throw in a bunch of business and hope that 50% of it comes out on the other side. We just don't do that. We really nail things down and make sure that we're underwriting properly, that we're quoting the right way, so we're not wasting a lot of time out there in the field. The right compensation schedule. Many of you I've talked to out there, have somewhat mediocre contracts. Others have really good ones. It just depends. But we offer what I feel a very competitive contract for what we have to offer here. We can discuss that when we talk with you individually. The right training program. Well, like I said, we spend most of our time on the actual sales part, the script, your schedule, setting up the appointments. We're looking for experienced agents out there. We don't generally bring on new rookie people who've not been in the business. And for that reason, we leave a lot of the product training to you. We do some work on that, but we spend the majority of our time in training in the sales part because you've been in the business long enough. You should know how to get to these products and study them and know the parameters of them and what they do and all that kind of stuff. But what we have the most fun with is the sales part. I love that. That's what I like to talk to people all day about that. We have a blast with our scripts, and we do a lot of role play. And there is truly an art to this particular niche of the business. I came from final expense sales, and I thought, I've been in the business 12, 13 years. I can do this thing, no problem. I got in, and I just failed miserably my first 90 days before I finally started listening to my managers and them telling me, do it this way. I didn't do real well. And I thought I had some pretty good scripts, and I was able to set appointments with the other things I did. But this is a different animal. And, if you'll realize that up front and trust us when we tell you some things about what we're doing and what we think works the best, man, it'll shorten that learning curve a whole lot. And sometimes that's hard to get through to us. I mean, I was really hard-headed. I've been in the business long enough that I thought I knew everything, and I didn't know squat. And when I got into this, I had to really open up my brain cells and get a hold of this thing. But, man, I'm so glad I did, and I think we've got a really good training program now. We have incentives and bonuses. There's always things out there. We run programs for sales. We have great support from our companies, production-based trips. We've been last year I've been to Cancun, Mexico. I've been out to San Francisco on some company trips. We're going this year to, oh my gosh, I can't remember where it is right now, somewhere in California. We got a lot of good trips, and they're easy to qualify for. Some of these, I don't know how they can afford to do it with such low production numbers. But it's really, we have some really good stuff there. So moving along, solution, TMIP 101 is the right solution. We have a turnkey lead system that can work just about anywhere. Now, I say anywhere on here, but we have found little pockets here and there around the country where we're struggling to get kind of the returns that we had hoped to, and I think it comes down to data selection, but that's something we can talk about later. Exclusive leads delivered right to you from the prospect. Now, this is very unique to what you people are probably used to ever getting. If you buy a retail lead on the market, sure, they'll scan it and send it to you in an Adobe or file or whatever, and you can print it off. But how many other people did they sell that lead to? You don't really know. And the way our program works, you're going to get the actual lead back that they filled out. It doesn't come through us. We don't ever see the lead. It comes directly to you. Now, stay with me on this, because this is really a unique situation here. Our average lead cost right now can run as low as $10 to about $25, depending on your area, the response rate we get from the mailers, just a number of different factors. And again, we're talking about a quality mailer lead, which I'm going to show you the template in a minute. To me, this is the best lead on the market. I've worked telemarketed leads, web leads, or internet leads, whatever. This thing produces better than anything we've ever worked. And these are the kind of leads that you're going to pay $60 out there all day long on the market for. Our system guarantees you to be the first to contact the person. Now, I don't know how many of you out there are familiar with mortgage protection, but if you have worked in this business in mortgage protection, and if you've ever worked any of the leads, I'm going to tell you, there's a difference of being the first person to contact and how good things go and they're receptive to you, and versus being the third or the fourth or maybe even the fifth person that's contacted them, and you can clearly see their attitude toward you is quite different. I would rather not be in the pack. I would rather be out front. And the way our system works just about guarantees you, we say 95% of the time, but we're kind of lowballing that, okay? But if you're out there and if you work our system like we tell you and you get in front of that contact first, we can annihilate our competition this way. And believe me, it's a whole lot of fun. I really, really enjoy this part. Controlling your territory with this strategy. As I just said, if you're the first to contact them, we have ways, it's part of our script. We kind of, warn our people who fill out the leads of the incoming onslaught of more letters and offers that they're going to be getting in the mail. And we have a little thing that we tell them about it and what they are and how they work, and it kind of reduces the chances of them filling it out and sending it in. So you virtually can have them just about all to yourself. Literally, in the area where I live, we are working our system so well that we've lost a lot of the competition around here. They quit, a lot of them quit mailing in the area because they can't get any returns. And there's a reason why. It's because we're working the system right, which we'll be happy to share with you if we end up working together here. Low out-of-pocket expenses. Your primary expense here is the lead, of course. We get 10 to 15 leads a week. You're probably going to wad up 5 or 6 or 7 of those and throw them away for whatever reason. They're not going to be any good. Let me tell you, it still hurts, but it feels a whole lot better to wad up a $12 lead than it does a $60 lead. Okay, the expenses are almost non-existent. I don't even feel them anymore. And another thing, I'm not pressured to produce so much because I have such an enormous lead bill to overcome. This thing really lowers all the stress levels out there that we normally face as insurance agents out there, trying to make a living with this. It's just so much easier. Web-based training, 24/7, personalized coaching. We have a website where we've just changed over to a new one. We're putting new stuff on there, trying to make it a little bit better for you guys. We do have personalized coaching. That's kind of my most favorite thing. I love talking with agents about, this whole program. We've turned around so many agents, you just can't imagine. If you will listen to us, we can make you a success in this. But we have all that available for you, okay? Producer conferences, like I said before, to places like Mexico, Aruba, Miami, California, easy to qualify for. we can get the details for that for you later too. But really, really good. And I have been on these. They're all inclusive. Just incredible trips. I mean, it really makes, all your hard work, really, really much more enjoyable when you know you're going to get a paid vacation like this. Okay, the next thing you should see up on your screen is a copy of the lead. I apologize for it being in such a squatty look, but it's the only way I could fit it on there. Now, this is one particular template. It's actually not the template that we are using right now. It's very similar, but I want you to take note of it. You've probably seen something with a similar format, where at the bottom of the lead, it has the places for the people to fill out: their birthday, their sex, height, weight, tobacco use, contact phone numbers, all that good stuff, okay? Let me say this to you. I've worked a lot of different types of leads, but if someone's going to take the time to fill this information out and mail it back to you, trust me, they want to at least find out what you have. You may not set an appointment. You may not even get to run them a quote. I don't know. But in most cases, they at least want to know what you have, okay? They're not going to fill all this information out just to send it in for nothing. So to me, I think this is one of the best lead formats I've ever seen. I didn't make it up. I didn't create it. I stole it from the people who said they made it up, and I know they stole it from others. So there's no telling who put this format together. But out there's a lot of them in similar ways. This is a very generic one. It has no disclaimers on it or anything because it's not a state compliant. It's just a generic. But I want to make you just pay attention to one thing in the middle of the lead. We used to not have this in there, but in bold print in the middle it says living benefits available. Now, in our current template, which we can get a copy out to you, where it says, critical illness, we actually have the words in there, heart attack, stroke, or cancer. And we actually were able to bump our returns by nearly 1% or right around 1% more than what we were already getting by having that in there. Because a lot of people that look at these things, most everybody you talk to, or just about everybody you talk to, has some life insurance, okay? Well, here we have additional benefits, and with the critical illness, you're twice as likely to get a critical illness and possibly survive it. And if you don't have critical illness benefits and you get one and you don't die, you still don't have anything. This is very important. I mean, you could talk to anybody on the street about this. We've got great products for this, but by putting that into the lead, it's made such a difference. And it is our #1 selling product, the critical illness benefits that we have through Transamerica Life. Really, really good. But I want to just see, this is the lead, or one of the lead templates that we use here. And many of you probably have seen it before, so it's a good one. Now, we have two main options for generating leads. So I'm going to move through this a little bit faster. I want to make sure that we get all this covered. I don't keep you too long. Option 1 is pretty much the option that we do, okay? This is a 100% hands-on lead mailer. You produce the lead from start to finish, okay? Before you hang up, let me just say, I'm not talking about doing a 1,000-piece mail drop or a 3,000-piece mail drop every week or anything like that. There is more work entailed in doing our option 1, okay? But the results are incredible, and of course, before we do anything and before we even decide we're going to work together, if we do, we're going to make sure you completely understand what we're talking about. It's something that you might want to consider. Most everybody does. I understand a lot of you out there would prefer to receive an already generated lead, as in what would be option 2, okay? There are drawbacks, and there's pros and cons to both, okay? If you don't want to be in the lead mailer business for yourself and only for yourself to produce your own leads, we're probably not the option here you're going to be looking for, okay? I'll just tell you that right now. But let's move on so you can see. These are the two options. We do have a vendor where we can do a 1,000-piece mail drop in your area. You get every lead that's produced. There's no resales. You're probably going to come in somewhere. These average about 1.5%. I think the leads are going to be, well, the mailer is somewhere just south of $500 to do the mailer, I believe. I could get the exact because with postage changes and stuff, that always changes a little bit. But you're looking at something like that roughly. I've had some people tell me they're paying $650 to do a 1,000-piece mail drop, which that's getting up there. It's getting pretty expensive, Unless you can get a good return, better than 2%, your leads are coming in pretty darn expensive, okay? So but we have it if that's what you're what you're looking for. Any combination of the above. I will say this: we are currently running some test pilot programs in certain areas of the country. We're trying to develop some additional sources for lead generation. There is areas where we do struggle to get data and leads, but I don't know if it's so much just the area as it is the data selection. That's a whole other thing we'll talk about, some other time, but that is truly an art form as well. Mailing the right kind of stuff. You see, on option 2, on the turnkey, these vendors, they don't look at this data. They just blanket sweep it, and they mail it, and that's why they average about a 1% response. In ours, we cherry pick. We look through every piece of data that we mail. We mail probably on average about 70% of our available data because a lot of it's just not any good, or they're not areas that we would want to mail in that we think would produce a lead. And to have that kind of control, I'm going to tell you right now, we average on this lead program that I'm talking to you about 5% return. Now, that is crazy insane, okay? Most average what? 1%, 1.5%. Working this system the way we do, we literally across the country are averaging about 5%. I get more in my area where I'm at. I think our worst state in return is Massachusetts, and it's 3%. So it works what we have going on here, and we'll share all that with you if you're the person for the area that we're looking for. By contracting with us, we will set you up with our turnkey lead mailer system that generates up to a 10% response. I'm not trying to get crazy on you here, but that's pretty much what we pull right here, where I'm at. But I've been doing this a long time. I know my area. I know my neighborhoods. I know the neighborhoods to stay out of. I know the types of loans or mortgages to stay away from. And so, therefore, I don't mail those. I reduce my mailer. My response rate goes up. There's a number of factors involved there, which we'll share if you come on board with us. But it puts you in control of your leads and the flow of your leads for your designated area. We've got agents out there, and I'll tell you right now, I don't know where you're at. We may have a producer in your area, and if we do, apologize. We're not going to be I'm not going to put somebody in an area that's already producing. In fact, we're going to do everything we can to protect that area and to protect that producer, because once you get in there and you start working this system and you figure out just how good it is, you're not going to want anybody else in there doing that. And so we do everything we can to protect areas. We have a lot of agents out across the country, but we have a lot of open available areas that we would like to develop and build production in. So we'll just have to take it one-on-one as we speak to you and see if we can work out something in your area. I can't guarantee you anything, but that's pretty much how that works. Depending on your area's response, your per lead cost could be as low as $8 to $10, and that is each for the most absolute freshest lead available. And I'm not talking about mailing a mortgage that was originated 6 months ago. We mail data that is less than a week old. Okay, we scrape the cream right off the top. We do not go back 6 months, 8 months, a year, 2 years. A lot of these lead companies that are doing mailers out there, they go back however far they need to go in your area to be able to get the leads they feel they need to generate for you. If you call up and you want to do a 1,000-piece mailer, do you realize if your area doesn't produce a lot to begin with, they may have to go back a year mailing mortgages to get that 1,000 pieces. So we don't do that. That's not how ours works. So we're talking about brand new, fresh, unsaturated, fresh new contacts. The system does require more work on your part, but it can be well worth it for you regarding your bottom line expenses. This does require that you do your own mailer in your specified area. And I just want to make clear of that. Again, this may not be what you're looking for. A lot of people, I'm probably most of you out there that I've talked to, they don't see it, and that's okay. Not everybody wants to do that or has the time to do it. Here's my thought on it. I was paying, $50, $60, not 60 at the time. I was paying probably $40 or $50 for my leads, and I was trying to work 10 or 15 of these. So I had a really hefty lead bill every week. Well, if I had a bad week, I couldn't afford to pay my lead bill, and it just got to the point where I couldn't keep up with that and try to pay all my other bills and expenses. So I started, you end up working less because you're seeing fewer people. And then this comes along, and we figure out, well, I have more time on my hand. Why don't I try producing my own lead and cut out the middlemen and see if I can do a better job with it? And lo and behold, we found a way to do this, and we do it much better than any of the big marketers out there. And the cool thing about it is, by doing this in your own backyard, none of the big marketers out there, none of the major lead companies can compete with you because you're working in your own backyard. Anything you produce and mail out, if you send out a mailer today, we sent out one yesterday for our area. Well, guess what? That lead is landing in everybody's mailbox today. This is data we just picked up. It's not even a week old. Nobody's had time to look at it. Nobody's had time to, I mean, they're going to be getting it. They're compiling this data. They're going to be getting it into lists so the major marketers out there can get it and mail it out, but they're going to be mailing it probably in about a week. By that time, my letter's already landed in the mailbox today. This is a big reason why we're in there first. I mean, you just can't compete with what we do. Sure, it's a little bit more work, and I want you to realize, yes, you are doing your own mailer. We're talking on average probably between 200 and 300 pieces of data over the course of a week. Okay? It doesn't take that long to do it. To me, it was worth it to give it the hours I needed to do that than have to face this lead bill I was having to face every week. So just want to be honest with you up front. That's what we're looking at. We can talk more in detail one-on-one. You have total control over your data selection, amount of data you mail, as well as receiving the original leads back directly from the prospects to your personal P.O. box. Nobody ever sees your leads but you. See, that's the cool thing about our program. You're doing your own mailer, but it's set up to where if I get your letter in the mail and I like it and I fill it out and I put it in your return envelope, it's going back to you. So that means nobody can resell your lead unless you do it yourself. It's your lead. It's only your lead. You get the original back. It doesn't get any better than that. I'm telling you, that's all there is to it. Okay, breakout. Are you ready to take the next step? Best way to get started with us is to go, of course, to our website. Hopefully you see it on the screen there, www.tmip101.com. Somewhere on there, there's an apply button at the bottom of the page. Complete this form as best you can, and I ask that you please complete it. Don't just send in your name and your email address because you're going to go to the bottom of the list. There's questions on there. Yes, we are screening them because we need to know what area you're at. We need to know what you're doing now. We'd like to have an idea of your production, somewhat of your goals. I mean, it doesn't take but a minute to fill it out. I think they're good qualifying questions that would help us. The more complete you fill that out, the higher up at the top of the pack you're going to get when we call you. And I will tell you in advance, please forgive us. This is Wednesday. It might be Friday. It might be Monday before we're able to get back with you because we get a slew of these things in and we are slammed on the phone. Sometimes you might catch me between a call, but a lot of times you're going to probably get our voicemail. Leave us a message. We're taking the notes. We're taking down everybody that calls us. We're going to try every way we can to get back with you as soon as we can and talk to you and quickly qualify to see, do we have something here we can do for you in your area or whatever the case may be, okay? Please fill it out as best you can. The more information on there, the better, okay? All right, that's it. I want to thank everybody for being on the call. If you have any questions or anything, like I said, just fill out your information, give us a call, tmip101.com. My name's David Whitehead. Thank you so much for being on this, and we look forward to talking to you in the future. Have a good day. We're out.
Good job, man.